This video, it's gonna be a little cold. We're gonna talk about cold plunges.
Oh God, oh, why am I doing this?
Why people do them, what it's like doing one, and how you can start doing them safely at home.
Since we're gonna be talking to you about cold plunges, we're not gonna fake it from the comforts of our warm, cozy desks. We're gonna take you right into this ice bath with us.
Checking the water with this temp gun, and it is a nice 44 degrees, and we'll try to check it at the end as well. So all of you who aren't pregnant, put your hand up, and let's go in the water.
10 seconds. Yep.
Damn it. Damn it. Damn it.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Okay, all right, let's ask some questions.
Okay.
All right, first question here. Why are you doing this?
Okay.
Are you crazy?
Crazy? Like you. But you're crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit. But there's some science behind this. So, there was a podcast by Andrew Huberman who talked about the benefits, it's cold, of doing cold plunges. I used to think that it was a gimmick. But after listening to him, I realized that there's actually a lot of scientific benefit to getting that. Did I miss anything?
No, I think Dr. Andrew Huberman out of Stanford, he's a neuroscientist. He talked about a lot of studies on his podcast, and the biggest one that we recognize was the increase of
Dopamine.
bingo. I don't think it's happening just yet, folks. Okay, so what is it like doing a cold plunge?
Okay, so there are basically 3 phases that happen with the cold plunge. And you just saw phase 1, which is the oh shit moment. And basically I just go through panic breathing until I can calm down. And then there's phase 2, which is the majority of it, which is kind of a meditation when you're not out here. Basically I do what's called box breathing. Navy SEALs do it. I think it came from some Buddhist meditation practice, but it's basically you do a 4-second count in, a 4-second count hold, 4-second count out, and a 4-second hold at the bottom. And I just cycle through that. I listen to some calming music, and that's for the majority of it. And then there's the final phase, which is phase 3, which is basically your body telling you, hey, we need to get out of here. It's getting too cold. And about a minute of that, and then again.
Yeah, when you think we're gonna die.
So what happens scientifically?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the science, guys. So scientifically speaking, your body has its fight or flight response. Integral to the cold shock response is the release of norepinephrine, a hormone and neurotransmitter. Now, norepinephrine increases your heart rate. It activates thermogenesis, which is the production of heat. It constricts your blood vessels and modulates immune function. Generally, lower norepinephrine activity is associated with inattention, decreased focus and cognitive ability, low energy, and poor mood. So, Scott, you do this a few times a week. What are the benefits?
The biggest benefit that I notice is mental clarity and focus. I can definitely tell there's a benefit if it's the it's the dopamine or the neuroepinephrine, whatever it is. Those days I feel very focused and driven. Now, there's a lot of claims about metabolic benefit and losing weight. Obviously, your body is going to be sucked out of a lot of calories being in this cold water, so the only way for it to make more heat is to burn calories. So there's going to be some calorie burn here, but I would not do this just to lose weight. I think that's a secondary benefit. If you're trying to lose weight, you can just skip dessert.
Boo. And do you take a hot shower after?
So I don't take a hot shower afterwards. I rinse off, and then usually I go into the gym for about 5 minutes and get on the bike or get on the rower just to kind of warm the body up a little bit, but I just put on warm clothes and let the body come back to normal temperature. And through that process, basically the shivering, you can increase your brown fat or your good healthy fat, which I'll let Colette talk
That's
about.
shivering right now.
It's the shivering.
So the thing is, you can't just make your body shiver and produce brown fat. The shivering has to come from actual cold, which is why cold therapy works so well. Heating up the body afterwards is very important.
So speaking of layered clothes, I'd like to talk about my favorite clothes, which is today's sponsor.
That's right, folks.
Cuts Clothing is a men's clothing line which has now expanded to all sorts of pants, sweats, vests. And if you're looking for some warm layers after doing a plunge, I highly recommend them. They've got some comfy pants, they've got nice vests, and also they just came out with a really cool sweater that's stone-washed. So if you need a recommendation, I highly recommend the long sleeve Henley, their vests, basically anything from Cuts. Oh, they also have a jacket, which I was wearing earlier too. So thank you, Cuts.
Yes, do not get in the hot shower. Just put on a lot of layers of Cuts and warm your body up that way. But back to the science, guys. So a study in healthy young men found that after cold exposure, the participants had an increase of dopamine by 250%. That's huge, 250%. That is the same as doing cocaine, folks.
But don't do cocaine, please.
Only cheaper and not with the harmful effects. So it also showed an increase in energy expenditure of 350%. After adults who had been diagnosed with depression underwent 10 cryotherapy sessions, they showed reductions in their depressive symptoms and improved quality of life, mood, suggesting that whole body cryotherapy is beneficial for mental well-being and quality of life. So, when we were talking about brown fat before, can you tell me about the increase of brown fat from cold therapy? You're 5.5 minutes in.
So there are scientific studies. So let's talk about the three types of fat. There is white fat, which is what most people assume of fat on the body. That just stores calories for later use. That's the muffin top. Then there's beige fat.
There's two types of fat.
There's two types, but there's a basically it's the white and the brown, and then there's the in between. But the brown fat is responsible for thermogenesis, basically heat production. So brown fat actually burns calories. And if you think about how people say, oh, I've got thin blood, they come from warm climates, well, that's kind of true because they haven't been acclimated to the colder weather. They don't have as much brown fat on their body to stay warm in the colder climates. Doing the cold plunges increases your brown fat, can acclimate you to colder climates, but also with that brown fat, it will have higher thermogenesis, which means a higher metabolic rate, which means more fat loss. But like I said previously, I think that the fat loss is maybe a secondary benefit that I'm not so concerned with. I'm more focused on the mental clarity.
So studies have shown that after 20 days of cold exposure, you have an increased brown fat by 45%. That's a pretty large increase. Have you noticed any of this?
Well, I have noticed that it is getting easier to do these. Today it seems rather difficult, but they're not as bad.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
You're at about 7 minutes in. We got 3 minutes to go. So other studies showed that cold exposure increased number of white blood cells, including cytotoxic T lymphocytes, a specialized type of immune cell that can kill cancer cells. Also, a study comparing regular winter swimmers to non-regular swimmers showed that resting concentrations of white blood cells, such as leukocytes and monocytes, were higher compared to the non-habitual swimmers. These studies bolster anecdotal claims shared among communities of winter swimmers that they experience fewer colds and influenza. Now, how would you recommend people to do ice baths?
So, you can see right here, we have an ice barrel. Now this is, for those of you guys who really want to commit and go all in, this is, top of the line, excellent. We actually have a link for it below if you guys want to check out this ice barrel. But you can get started very simply, very cheaply. I'm hoping that all of you guys can take a shower. Start with cold showers. That's how I started. Start with doing cycles of 20 seconds of cold, 10 seconds of hot, and you work your way up to about 5 minutes. Then you can kind of start to get the benefits of the cold plunge just by doing a cold shower. Second to that, buy some ice from your local gas station and fill up your bathtub with some ice. There you go, fixed.
Now I'm gonna make a slight correction. You're gonna do cycles of 10 seconds of hot and 20 seconds of cold. You're gonna wanna end on the cold, folks. Sorry about that.
Yes, but that's how I started, very easy. And
All right, you're in the home stretch.
okay.
Scientifically speaking, your body has its fight or flight response, which you are clearly going through right now inside your ice barrel. But the ice barrel, folks, I'm just gonna say one more time, it's lightweight, portable, durable, You can use your tub at home, you can use your cold shower at home, but this makes it pretty darn easy, and I feel like it's a good commitment.
And what's nice about this versus a tub, like I said, you can do the tub, the shower, those are great. They really are. This is much easier when you start doing plunges to get up and to go fully under. Most bathtubs really aren't deep enough to make the full plunge, as you'll see at the end of this.
Now, how deep do you want to go in this ice bath?
So, as you can see, my hands are out, which there's a lot of temperature sensors on the palm of your hands, your face, and the bottom of your feet. Putting the hands in makes it a lot harder to stay in this for long term. So usually the last minute, which I'm getting close to,
45 seconds,
I'll
folks.
dip my hands in. Oh, I can feel that.
We didn't grab a towel, did we?
That's all right. I'm gonna run in and shower right away.
But not a hot shower.
But what was the question? How long? How do I? Oh,
How deep do you go?
and then at the very end, I'll do a few plunges. And I didn't do that initially. Initially, I didn't dunk my head when I was doing this, but I saw some other people, so I decided to commit fully.
I see brown fat actually forming because you are shivering really aggressively right now.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that is all we have on cold therapy.
Did I reach the 10 minutes?
Almost. We got 10 seconds. We've got 10 seconds. You're
So,
doing so good.
guys, get out there. I hope this was enjoyable for you. It wasn't really for me,
It's entertaining at least.
but also be safe, be careful,
Ding,
guys.
ding, 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 ding.
We are not doctors, so we only play them on TV. But, be safe, and I guess the legal term would be don't try this at home.
Without consulting your doctor. Oh my gosh.
Check the water, check
I'm
the water
checking the water temperature. Goodbye. Godspeed. Go layer up. He's crazy, folks. 48 degrees. Okay, so that means Scott warmed it up 4 degrees. 48 degrees, jeez, okay. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for learning about ice baths with us, folks, and I hope you were thoroughly entertained. Picking it up.
Pick it up.
Oh my gosh. My hands are cold. I have no excuse though. Oh well.
It's trying to get into your clothes before your body feels the actual cold.
You don't feel the cold yet?
No, what's weird is you don't feel cold until your body feels warm. It's weird. You like your body's numb at this point for a few minutes, so it's kind of a race to put clothes on because.
The neighbors walk by.
Oh yeah. They're like, what the hell's going on with those people? Why are they outside? What's this barrel?
Well, that's a good looking crew neck.
So everyone, this is the cut sweater I was talking about. Big fan of this. And sometimes you just can't put enough layers on after a plunge.
Good job.
Surprisingly, kind of warm.
You're crazy. You're not warm.
Well,
What?
and that's it, everyone. That's how you do a cold plunge.
Do you think it has helped you adjust to the East Coast weather?
Not really. No, you're still cold. Well, that's weird. I zipped my vest to my jacket. That was the weirdest thing. No, but actually, so now my skin feels cold. Now that I warmed it up, it's the weirdest feeling because you don't feel anything, and then when you start to feel warmth, that's when your skin starts to feel. So now my body feels really cold.
You're numb, probably.
Yeah, I think you're numb for a while, and then it's like blood starts to flow back, and it realizes that the skin that was out there, yeah, now I'm starting to get cold. Now I have to go inside the gym and try to warm up.
Good job.